one of these car companies and use all their existing infrastructure. So if they're going to get into the car business in the next decade, I would say the only way they do it is by buying an established automaker or even a non-established automaker, something a little bit more nascent like a Rivian or a Lucid.
All right, 25 seconds. What was your favorite nugget of telling this tale?
My favorite part of the story, in addition to that remote command center that you both loved, was the design of the car. The white wall rims, like it looked like from something from the 1950s, just the beautiful external white design of the car, the Boeing Dreamliner like tinted windows, I should say. So really the overall exterior design and ideas for the interior, those were my favorite parts.
Unbelievable. And they were all going to be white, right? So that you just kind
It just remains a design at this point.
For now.
For now.
A great piece of reporting and a really incredible read. Mark, thank you so much. Mark Gurman, of course, Bloomberg News Chief Technology Correspondent. Check out his story. You can find it at Bloomberg.com and, of course, on the Bloomberg Terminal. That is the Bloomberg Big Take.
Hey, coming up next, we're going to talk about the Miami market specifically and ultra-luxury developments happening there. You're listening and watching a Bloomberg Business Week. Let's get check the latest world and national news. We've got Amy Morris and I'm on News from FCC. Hey, Amy.
Hello, Tim. Federal Reserve Chair Jay Powell testified on Capitol Hill again today, this time in the Senate, where he reiterated the central bank is rethinking new bank capital requirements and holding steady for now on interest rates, telling lawmakers the central bank was not far from being able to cut interest rates and that rates were far above levels that they might be otherwise. During tonight's State of the Union address, watch for President Biden to propose increasing the minimum tax rates paid by major corporations to 21% and eliminating breaks for companies with high-paid executives. This would affect corporations valued at $1 billion or more. And as we wait to hear the president lay out his vision in this election year address, Tobin Marcus, the head of policy and politics at Wolf Research, says he expects an energetic performance from the president.
They can engineer another sort of organic moment that showcases some nimbleness and energy and sort of quickness on his feet. I think that would be ideal for them. But short of that, I think just a crisp delivery that shows some energy and sort of free of any notable flubs.
And that is Tobin Marcus. He's with Wolf Research. You can join Bloomberg Radio and Television tonight at 8:30 Wall Street time for our special coverage of the State of the Union. Global news 24 hours a day and whenever you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Amy Morris, and this is Bloomberg.
Timelessness and sustainability go together, right? We can't expect to be timeless if we're running out of resources. So for me, sustainability is not a side activity. It's not a reaction to external pressure. It's core to who we are and what we stand for. And to a very strong extent, it's about future-proofing the business, right? You need to focus on sustainability to recruit more and more that younger consumer we're talking about. They want to work for companies that care about this planet, that do more than just kind of generate revenue. You need sustainability to attract consumers. More and more clean energy consumers, they care deeply about what you're doing differently. How are you making impact? Investors, particularly in Europe, more and more place value on what you're doing in sustainability. And even our partners have expectations on sustainability.
This is one of my greatest fears, that a small nation is forced to suicide.
Bloomberg. Context changes everything.
Bloomberg has enhanced search on the terminal to deliver what you need when you need it. Now, you can simply type phrases in everyday English in the command line. Compare financials. Find people. Analyze markets. You can enter phrases or ask questions. What do you want to know today? Ask a question or visit SearchGo to find answers now.
Let's suppose you're on a plane and somebody realizes who you are. They say, I have $100,000. I don't know what to do with it. Where should I invest it? Where should they put their money?
So today it's an easier decision than it was maybe 2 years ago, because Treasury bills are 5%. So I would say, regardless of how much risk you want to take, you have to put a portion there. Then you would have to ask, really, an individual is the same, I think, as any institution. What is your time frame? Do you need to get access to this $100,000 in the next few weeks, the next few months, the next few years, not until you retire? And that will determine your investment decision.
So, what do you think is the most common mistake investors make when they have 100,000, a million, or whatever they might have? What is the most common mistake you have observed investors make?
I would say hubris and thinking you know more than you do, because every decision that you make has many, many layers. So as you're creating your portfolio, look at the risk as well, not just excited about the return.
What's the best investment advice anybody's ever given to you?
Continue to learn about innovation in whatever you do, because that is where it's not exciting, that's where returns will go.
From the world of politics to the world of business, every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, hosts Joe Matthew and Keely Lines deliver news, insight, and analysis live from Bloomberg's Washington headquarters. Get the latest from and about politics' biggest power players at the end of every trading day. Balance of Power, live around the world every weekday at 5 p.m. Eastern, only on Bloomberg Television. Context changes everything.
There is no digital without chips, and I emphasize that because everybody speaks about the digitalization of the world, and I would even go a step further. There is no Green Deal without chips. So yes, it's a bit like the new oil for the world. And given some of these geopolitical tensions, especially between the US and China, it's become a necessity, I believe, to be more resilient against these geopolitical tensions. And while finding it out the hard way through the past 2 years during the pandemic, and what I mean with the hard way is that we've all seen how key industries in Europe and the US, especially in the industrial, medical, and automotive sectors, have suffered from a shortage of semiconductors.
It's 2:40 on Wall Street. We do check markets all day long here at Bloomberg. We have got the U.S. stock market trading at a record, very close to the session high right now, with the S&P at 51.59, higher now by 1.1%. The Dow up 134 now, up 0.4%, while the Nasdaq Composite Index up 1.7%. Stocks are hitting records in the run-up to the jobs report tomorrow morning, as investors bet that some of the world's major central banks will start slashing rates as soon as June. Spot gold right now is up 0.5%. The 10-year 4.10%. The 2-year 4.52%. And crude down 0.4%. $70.83 per barrel of WTI. Bitcoin up 1.5%. 67,518 on Bitcoin. New York Community Bancorp's new leader wants the beleaguered commercial real estate lender to look more like other regional banks. New CEO Joseph Otting, a former controller of the currency, was named to $1 billion from investors, led by former Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin. His comments came in a conference call with analysts. So today we're looking at NYCB. The stock is up 4.5% right now. That's on top of yesterday's 7.4% advance. Year to date, however, the stock is down 63%. Again, recapping here, stocks are higher. We are looking at a record now with the S&P up 55, up 1.1%. I'm Charlie Pelleton. That is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, so appreciate it, Charlie Pellet there. Well, you might recall that Bloomberg News was reporting out last month on Florida's southwestern coast, along one of America's fastest growing regions, and how it is losing some of its boomtown swagger as a home insurance crisis and other soaring costs make homes unaffordable. It's a serious situation.
It is, and at the same time, though, we've also talked about how the migration of financial types down south, saying Citadel's Ken Griffin, more, are now calling South Florida home and pushing up prices not just of residential real estate, but also commercial real estate too.
All right, so there's a lot going down south, specifically in the state of Florida. With all this in mind, joining us to talk about the Miami market specifically, with us is Dina Golden-Tayer. She's Executive Director of Sales over at Douglas Elliman. She joins us from Miami. Dina, good to have you here. A lot to talk about. First up, how are you, and how would you describe the luxury market in Miami? I mean, technically, you're known as an ultra-luxury specialist. So talk to us a little bit about demand, pricing, what you are seeing.
Thank you so much for having me today. I am indeed an ultra luxury specialist focusing on properties 10 million and up. And our market, as they say, is caliente. And there is no sign of a slowdown for the 10